Is gluten bad? Gluten has been in the spotlight for a while as one of the most harmful foods for our gut. The truth is actually a lot more nuanced than that. In my humble opinion, not everyone needs to avoid gluten. However, if you have an autoimmune disease, one of the best and earliest things you should consider doing is completely removing gluten from your diet. That is, at least until your inflammation is under control, unless of course you are celiac, where gluten will never be your friend. But why, you ask? For two reasons. First, when you consume gluten, it travels through your stomach to your small intestine, where it triggers the release of zonulin. Zonulin is a protein that signals the tight junctions of your intestinal wall to become porous, to open, leading to leaky gut. Secondly, every time your body is exposed to an invader, in this case gluten, your immune system memorizes its structure so that it can recognize it in the future and develops an adequate defense to it. The bad news is that gluten happens to be structurally similar to a number of your body's own tissues. The immune system then registers your own tissue as an invader and attacks itself. So what about a packet of chips every now and then, or a piece of bread once a week? Unfortunately, even if you have less than 1/8 thumbnail of gluten, it has the ability to activate the inflammatory cascade, which could last from 2 to 6 months. So even if you ate gluten just 4 times a year, you could be in a state of chronic inflammation year-round. Again, this is only really relevant for our friends with autoimmune issues. For the rest of you, enjoy your bread. Before you think doomsday has arrived though, there is some good news. With so many people needing to avoid gluten, many companies have gone to great lengths to provide gluten-free options. Some supermarkets even have dedicated gluten-free sections. There are plenty of delicious gluten-free options out there and many foods you can substitute with your own cooking to avoid using gluten. Another important step to take if you have an autoimmune disease is to follow an anti-inflammatory diet. Inflammation is strongly linked to not only autoimmune flare-ups, but also the development of autoimmunity in the first place. Excessive animal protein, simple sugars, dairy, food additives can increase inflammation and can imbalance immunity. You can focus instead on foods that reduce inflammation, such as organic fruit and veg, adequate clean proteins like legumes and quinoa, and foods high in essential fatty acids such as olives, avocados, nuts, and seeds. Because addressing gut health is the cornerstone of autoimmune treatment, repopulating your gut bacteria with probiotics in both food and supplement form is recommended. Crack open that sauerkraut or kimchi, or sit down with an afternoon kombucha and make those good guys in your gut happy. Scientists have linked critically low vitamin D levels with autoimmune diseases like lupus and multiple sclerosis. Vitamin D is well known for its role in regulating the immune response. So, if you can take 20 to 30 minutes for your morning break and sit down with a book in the sun. Let those warm rays hit your skin and just be sure not to burn. You could also look at supplementation if you live in a country like the UK or Finland, where the sun only makes an appearance for 2 days in the year. Another important step in treating your autoimmune disease is to reduce your environmental toxin exposure. Both exposure to environmental toxins such as pollution, heavy metals, pesticides, and recreational drugs, as well as toxins produced by the bacteria within your gut, can activate the immune system and cause inflammation. There are a few things that you can do to mitigate these exposures. You can aim to buy organic food as much as possible. Use a water filter for your drinking water. Purchase only natural household cleaning products and personal care products. And don't make excuses when it comes to exercise. Exercise has been shown to regulate and strengthen immune health. So you can aim to do moderate intensity exercise for at least 40 minutes per session, 4 times a week. And if your mind is already resisting, get out for a walk every other day. Start somewhere, no matter how small. And over time, you will build habits your body will thank you for, and you will be able and eager to do more and more. Last but not least, learn how to manage your stress effectively. As stress causes inflammation in the body and dampens the immune system, it is important that you have some strategies that help to alleviate its impact. This could mean going for a walk, doing some yoga, journaling, exercising, or even getting a massage or taking a relaxing bath. So now you're armed with all this knowledge on how to fight your autoimmune disease, but there is one more thing you should know when it comes to turning off the autoimmune switch. Food sensitivities are one of the major factors that cause inflammation and one which often goes unaddressed. They can wreak havoc on the integrity of your gut wall and create an environment ripe for inflammation and autoimmunity. But knowing what foods you react to is not always easy to identify. You may feel bloated and sick in your stomach on a Wednesday and think, well, what did I have for breakfast this morning? But it may be actually Monday or Tuesday's meals that are actually responsible. So that was a long video. What do you think? Is gluten the enemy of the state that we should send to jail? Let me know in the comments. Everybody is different, so I am curious to hear your own personal experiences with gluten and possibly if you have autoimmune issues as well. Let me know in the comments. And while you're here, thanks for joining us, and remember to like and subscribe. It really helps us out. Thanks for joining us once again, and we'll see you in the next video.